Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? It's been quite a while now guys. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your one-piece trouser block super easy. And this one-piece trouser block can be used for sewing leggings for our kids or for an adult. And it's advisable to use a stretchy fabric for this, a 4-way stretch fabric. That is what I'm going to be using for the sewing of this one-piece trouser block. What do we mean by one-piece trouser block? It means it's not going to have a side seam. It's not just going to have a side seam. After cutting, you're only going to sew along the inseam and the crotch area. You put your waistband or elastic at the waist, elastic waistband, and your one-piece trouser is ready. That is it about this one-piece trouser guys. So I thought to show you. So let me quickly show you what I'll be needing. I'll be needing my tracing paper, because after making the pattern I'm going to use this transparent paper to mirror out my pattern before cutting it to before we cut it to our fabric. For the front pattern I'm going to be using my red marker and my pencil. We'll be needing our paper scissors. We'll be needing our tracing wheel to trace out our pattern or mirror it out at the end of the day. I'll be needing my pan curve shortly. I'll be making do with my pattern master, and if need be also I have another pattern drafting tool here. So this is my multifunction ruler. If need be, I also have my small straight ruler. This is 50 centimeter. We'll be needing our calculator, a quick one, because we will be also we will make a little calculations, not much, just a little calculation. And for the back pattern I'll be making do with this marker. I'll be using my tape measure, of course, and if need be I will be using this marker stiff. It's a fabric marker. So guys, without wasting much of your time, I don't want to waste time, because it's been long. I need to drop something and keep you going guys. So here I have my pattern already on my table. I'm going to be using this ruler to just hold it in place. So guys, I will make a straight line across now to indicate my starting point and the side seam. So guys, I've gone ahead to mark my lines. So guys, I've gone ahead to mark my line to indicate my starting point, and I mark a line across. That's the first thing you have to do here. Then the waist measurement, although it's not much of it's not that relevant, because we are going to be putting elastic at the waist here. The waist measurement is 22, hip is 25, the hip circumference is 25. You divide it by 4, whatever it gives you. You add 2/5 of an inch to it. Inseam or inside leg, we will be getting it out as we draft our pattern. Body rise, our body rise or crotch depth is 9 inches. The trouser length I'm going to be making do with 32 inches. Yeah guys, we don't need so much measurement here, but we are going to be making a little calculations, like I said. Also, the calculations are not that complicated. It's something that's super easy. So guys, I will start by imputing my body rise. That's our crotch depth. If you don't know how to get this, you can simply divide your hip measurement or the hip measurement of the person you are drafting the pattern for into 4. You can you still get the same thing, or you ask the person to sit on a flat surface. You measure from her natural waist to the surface. Whatever it gives you is what you are going to be using for your body rise. So having said that, I put 9 inches for my crotch depth or body rise. I will mark a line across. We have our 9 inches. The next thing I'm going to, this is my waistline, guys. This is my waistline. Our starting point, that's the waist where we are going to be. That's the waist. We all know that, guys. So I'll mark the length of the one-piece trouser. Use your ruler to mark your line across. I hope you can see, guys. I hope you can see that. Then the next measurement that we'll be needing from this body rise or crotch depth, you measure whatever you have here. You don't need that much calculation. You just fold your ruler into 2, guys. Fold your ruler in half and check whatever it gives you. You use it to mark your line across. That's we'll be using that as our nail level. We'll be using that as a reference for our nail level. You divide it into 2. You divide this part into 2 from your crotch level or your body rise. You divide it into 2. This is what I did here, guys. Come along with me and go through it over again. You understand, there's nothing so complicated here. So without much talking, I don't do much talking today. The hip measurement is 25, guys. If I divide 25 into 4, I will have 6.25, 6 1/4. You put it here, you add 1/4 inch or 2/5 of an inch, however you interpret your tape measure. Then I'll be having 6.5. 6 1/4. When you add 1/4 inch, you will have 6 1/2. You place it here and square your line up. This is the hip measurement, guys. You divide the hip measurement you're working with, the hip measurement that you have. You divide your hip measurement or the child's hip measurement into 4. The biggest part of her hip circumference, you divide it into 4. You add 1/4 of an inch to it. This is what I did here. I divided her hip measurement into 4. I added 1/4 of an inch to it. I square up. So guys, you don't bother about the waist because it's going to be elastic. We are not doing much at the waist area. It's not a 2-piece trouser where we are going to put our band and all that and put our zipper fly and all that. No, this is just a 1-piece super easy thing that you can make within 15-20 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on how fast you are. You're already done with it. So beautiful people, my lovely people, the next thing you will do now is to look at here, measure what you have here on this line. I have 9 inches, that is our body rise or our crotch. I have 9 inches. You divide 9 inches into 3, we'll be having 3 inches. You mark a point there, that's where we follow to curve our front crotch extension. So how do you get your front crotch extension? You divide the hip measurement. We got 6 1/2. You divide 6 1/2 into 4, guys. Divide this line, guys. Let me try to zoom. Bring my camera closer for you to see. You divide here. This is where we have the hip. This is where we impute our hip measurement, right? So we had 6 1/2. So guys, you divide 6 1/2 into 4. This is whatever it gives you is what you're going to be using for your crotch extension here. You put it here. minusing 2/5 of an inch or 1/4 inch. Whatever it gives you, you minus 2/5 of an inch or 1/4 inch to it, or 1/2 an inch to it, and put it here depending on the effect you want to have. So guys, that is it. When I divide the hip measurement I'm working with here into 4, I'll be having something like 1.625 in 1 bar after 1.5. I'm going to minus 1/4 inch. I'm going to minus 1/4 inch out of it, which is 2/5 of an inch, depending on how you interpret your tape rule, guys. So I'll be left with 1 1/4. So guys, this is how to get your front crotch extension on this. There are so many ways you can get it, but on this one-piece trouser block that I'm making now, this is how if you like to follow my method, this is how I got it. So I measured what I have here. I repeat again, I measured what I have here, which is the hip measurement that we imputed here, and we squared that up, 6.5. You divide it into 4. Whatever it gives you, you minus 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch, or you can minus 3/8 of an inch out of it. Less than 1/2 an inch, guys. It's either you make it 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch. Please, less than 1/2 an inch, you place your measurement here. This is how you get your front crotch extension for this pattern that I'm making now. So lovely. The next thing now is I'm going to be making using my pencil to get a 90-degree angle here. Mark that point, a 90-degree angle. I'll mark my point there. Just use my ruler to mark it straight, because I am going to be following that line to make my front crotch extension. Before that, I will come out by 3/4 of an inch. By 3/4 of an inch there. I hope you can see. You come out here by 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch you come out, and I extended with 1/1/4 or 1/25 of an inch, minusing 3. I minus 3/8 of an inch, a little bit more than 1/4 inch or 2/5 of an inch, 1 bar. So I went up here, I divided what I have here into 3. I got 3 inches. That's my point. So we are having 3.123. Then we are going to be connecting our front crotch extension now. So lovely. You connect your front crotch extension. I'll be making do with my pencil first. I'll connect the 3/4 of an inch to this point. Then I'll connect to this point. Now I can now go in with my marker. If you have gotten the point that you want, I can now go in with my marker and smoothing it up there. So guys, this is what we have for our front crotch extension. We'll move down now to this line here, our hemline, the hemline of our pant. So at the hemline of my one-piece trouser, what you will do is that you measure what you have here. You take 3/4 of it, guys. 3/4. I repeat again, guys, you come back to this where we imputed our hip measurement, that is 6.5. When you divide 6.5 into 4, guys, you take 3 parts of it and bring it down. If I divide my 6.5 into 4, So guys, here is a simple calculation. If you divide 6.5 into 4, you will be having 1.625. So 1.625, you divided it by 4, just times 1.625 into 3. Then you have gotten 3/4, 3 part. You divide something into 4, guys, you take 3 part out of it. So if I take 3 part of what I got for myself, I'll be having 4.875. 4.875. I will just round it up to 5 inches, guys. I'll just randomly round it up to 5 inches. So you bring down your 5 inches here to this midpoint that we use as our new level. So you square up. I hope I'm making sense. You square that up. This is 3/4. This particular place here is 3/4 of the measurement we have here. It's just a little bit less than 5 inches, so I rounded it up. I got 4.875. I rounded it up to 5 inches. This is what we have here. So the next thing, guys, you come out here by 1/2 inch. You can come out by 3/4, depending on the fit you want to have. For me, I'm going to come out here by 1/2 inch. So having done that, I am going to be joining my front crotch extension to this 1/2 inch. Firstly, I want to join it with a straight line before I go in with my curve to curve it. So guys, you join it with a straight line like so. Having done that, I will come up here by 1.5, or you can come up by 2 inch. I don't want the down part of my one-piece trouser block to be curved. So I will take my pan curve now. So guys, let me quickly summarize what we did so far before we move over to our back pattern. What we did so far is that this is our starting point, which is our waistline here, where the waist measurement is, but we didn't do much at the waist area here because it's going to be having an elastic. If you are using your African print, at the end of the day, you're going to be putting elastic here at this waist area. Then what we did, we came down here by 9 inches, and this 9 inches is the measurement of the body rise, not yours. You have to measure yours and know the measurement of your body rise. If you can measure it, you divide your hip measurement into 4. You still get this crotch area here, or your body rise area, or you sit on a flat surface and measure from your natural waist to that surface. You will get this measurement here where we place our crotch. Then the next thing I did is to impute the hip measurement I'm working with here. The hip measurement, I impute it here, adding 1/4 inch, and I squared up. So this block here, 6.5 inches. Actually, it was 6 1/4. I added 1/4 inch, making it 6.5 inches, and I squared up. Then for the front crotch extension, for where I started the curve, what I did is I divided this line. I measure what I have here. I have 9 inches. I divided it into 3, and I placed my 3 inches mark here. Before making my curve, I came out here by 3/4 inch. And how do we get our front crotch extension? How did I get mine? I divided this place into 4. We have 6.5 inches here. You divide it into 4, and you reduct 3/8 inch or 1/4 inch to the measurement you have, guys. Let it be less than 1/2 inch, please. Then I place the measurement here. I have 1/4 inch. 125, I like calling it. That's what I have here for my front crotch extension, less than 1.5. So what I did here, this is the length of my one-piece trouser block, and I divided from my crotch or body rise area, I divided it into 2, using it as my new level. How I got this measurement here is that this measurement here at the hemline and at this new level, I divided this line. This is my hip measurement, 6.5. You divide it into 4. if you divide 6.5 into 4, you will be getting 1.625. We need just 3 out of it, 3/4 of this measurement. We don't need the whole of this measurement. We just need 3/4 of this measurement to place here. Then when you times 1.625 into 3, you will be having 4.875. I just rounded it up to 5 inches. I just rounded it up, making it a round figure. You can also decide to place your 4.875, is not a problem. Then how did we get here? I came out here by 1/2 inch, and I made my curve from my front crotch extension. I came up here by 1.5 inch, and I curved my line down there. I decided to come in again by 1/4 inch or 2/5 inch and give it a nice curve. This is just all about the front piece here. This is just all we did here. You can decide to leave it like so. So you do, we know how these things work, guys. Aside from you're a beginner, I don't even have to. I just want you guys to get it because this is super easy to make for self, for your kids, your relatives, and anything. Super easy, guys. Having summarized our front piece, we'll move over to our back piece now. Having explained what we did so far, we will be moving over to our back pattern. I'll be using this marker so we can differentiate our, let me see if I can make do with a green one. I think that will make it more pronounced because this purple and red is kind of blending together. I want something that is a bit different to make it more pronounced. So guys, we'll be making use of this for our back pattern. What do we do for our back pattern? Very simple, super easy. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Let me get my ruler and place here. For my back piece, we are moving over to the back pattern. We are done with our front pattern. We are moving over to our back pattern now. So please leave a space at the top part of your paper because we are making do with it. I am going to come in here by 3/4 inch for my back pattern. I'll square up by 1 inch, or you can square up by 1 inch or 3/4 inch. I squared up by 3/4 inch. I don't want it up to 1 inch. You may decide to square up by 1 inch. That's 3/4 inch. I came in here by 3/4 inch and went up here by 3/4 inch. You can make it 1 inch, it's not a problem, depending on the fit you want to have and the size of the person you're working for. The next thing you do is to slant it to this point. You can make it curved or you can leave your line straight, it's not a problem. Sorry about that, guys. My hand is kind of shaky. It's my hand shaking today. Let me correct my line, guys, so that it will look beautiful for you guys. So you just slant your line to this point. This is our starting point. Let's say 0. You slant your line to this starting point. You can also curve it with your pan curve, but I decided to slant it, just slanting. I didn't curve anything there. So this is just about this, the back piece of it. You come in by 3/4, go up by 3/4 and slant your line. There is no rule for these things, guys. Alter your pattern, play with your pattern, play with what you're doing. Or we are doing a freehand on paper, you just play around with it. If you make a mistake, you correct it. Don't be afraid of making mistakes, guys. So having said that, the next thing that we are going to do now is to get the point where we will be covering our back piece. For this, I will divide this line here into 2. It will give me 4.5. Divide whatever you have here into 2 for your back piece. You will get 4.5. I have 9 inches here. I divide it into 2. The next thing that I will do now is to come out here for my front. Before I curve, I want to come out here. I'll come out here by an inch. You mark that point there at an inch. I hope you can see that. Let me move a bit. You come up here, half of this line, and I came out here by an inch. How do we get our back crotch extension? Measure what you have here. I have 1 1/4. I use 1 1/4. So you bring it here and add 1/4 inch to it. I'll be having 1 1/2 now. Guys, simply measure what you have here. How we got the measurement, you measure what you have here, you bring it here and add 1/4 inch or 2/5 of an inch to it. This is just as simple as that. That is how we are getting our back crotch extension now. I repeat again, to get your back crotch extension, measure what you have at your front crotch extension, move it forward and add 1/4 of an inch or 2/5 of an inch. This is how we got this. So lovelies, having gotten our back crotch extension, before we curve our line, you move down here by 1/4 of an inch. I'm not going to be curving my back crotch extension same line, same level with my front crotch extension. I move down here by 1/4 of an inch. So guys, let's curve our back. You make your curve carefully. Guys, if you cannot get it at once, you just do it differently. What matters is at the end of the day, you get what you want. You see, this is the level of where we curved our front crotch extension. Came down by 1/4 of an inch here, 2/5 of an inch. So I'm going to curve it down to this point. You curve it down to that point there. So this is what we have for our back pattern. This is what you have for our back pattern. This is what we have, my lovelies. This is what we have. I try to bring it closer. You see that? This is all we have for that area there. Haven't curved. Please note, we came down here. It's very important. We came down here by 1/4 of an inch, then we curved. Haven't done that. I'm still going to be coming out again. I'm coming out here by 1/2 an inch. And you curve. You go in here firstly with a straight line, and I'm going to come up same way I came up before by 1 1/2 of an inch. Just mark that line there and make your curve to pass through the 1/4 of an inch there to the nail point, guys. So this is what we have. You slant to the nail point. We came out by 1/2 an inch. Disregard this point. We came out by 1/2 an inch. So same thing we did. This is our midpoint here. This is our midpoint. You come in again by 1/4 of an inch, like so. Then give it a smooth curve. Give it a smooth curve, guys. Passing through the 1/4 or 2/5 of an inch mark. give it a smooth curve there. So ladies, it's optional. This is optional. You can decide to cut through the first line. You can decide to cut through this first line. This first line here that we drew, you can decide to cut through that. But for me, I will disregard this first line here. I will cut through this second line here, and I will cut through this second line here. Depending on the effect you want to have, you decide on which line you want to cut through. You decide if you want to come in by 1/4 inch or not. Disregard this mark, guys. It's just a mistake there. So my lovelies, my dearest beautiful people, my dearest beautiful people, this is our pattern. After mirroring out your pattern, this is what you're going to be having. Just one piece. This is the front. You label your pattern front. This is the back piece. You label it. This is just what you're going to be having. If you fold it like so, this is what it looks like. When you fold it, this is what it looks like. This is all about it for your one-piece trouser. I hope you are able to learn 1 or 2 things from this video. I hope this video was helpful. So I'm not constant, but I'll make it up for you guys. I know that.